Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Ponderosa North for Love of Bonanza. Today I'm going to focus on some of my favorite pictures of our boys and some unusual pictures of our boys. And I'm going to start with this one. Here's a picture of Dan Blocker. I'm not sure why this picture was taken. I'm at a loss. I don't know why it was. But there's no mistaking who this is. It's the back of Cartwright. I don't know. A lot of the pictures I love are the behind-the-scene pictures of the guys just chatting it up. Here it's a bit different because Purnell's wearing a leather jacket that must be his. I don't know where it came from. He's out of character. Maybe he's finished for the day, on his way home. They're just having a little chat. Maybe about tomorrow's scenes or something. I love the behind-the-scene pictures. Here's another one's kind of different. Here's a picture of Mike and Lorne and Dan Blocker's son, Dirk. I love this picture because Dirk looks so much like his father. And it's later on, so Lorne is getting older. But look at Michael Landon. Are you serious? That's a movie star, if you ask me. Look at him. Look at the hair. He had great hair. There's no doubt. Michael Landon had the best hair. And he liked it long because he had that theory that it made him stronger. Who is it? Samson with the long hair? I'm not sure. I don't know my Bible. I like this picture because it's in an Asian magazine. I'm not sure if that's Japanese or Chinese. But it just goes to show you the scope of Bonanza and how it went out to the outer reaches of the earth and is still being played today constantly. I see it it's on every weekend here. Here's another behind the scenes. It's Dan and Lorne going over the script. I like it because he's got his hat tucked under his arm there and he's got his cigarette going. Oh, these guys smoked. Oh my goodness. The smoking. Another behind the scenes. Look how closely they're sitting together. They're just so bonded, these two. Father and son. And they're just, you know, having their lunch behind the scenes. I don't know who catered. Maybe somebody knows who did the catering for Bonanza. This is one of my favorite pictures. Purnell Roberts, fantastic rider. I've mentioned it before. He used to do this lunge, this standing lunge, with his beautiful thoroughbred cross sport. Very athletic horse. I don't know how. Every time I see him with his horse, I don't know how he handled those horses. They were so ill-behaved. With the pulling of the head, and he's always constantly riding these horses. There's no sitting atop sport. It was a constant communication with him and Purnell. If I ever had the chance to talk to Purnell Roberts, that would have been my first question. How and why did you pick those two horses? They were just such a challenge. And then Michael Landon was riding sport in the Crucible. And he seemed to handle them very well. Mike was a great rider too. But yeah, when you're watching Bonanza, just see how much rein work Purnell had to do to keep this horse under control. I don't know. Another one of my favorite pictures is Ben all dressed up. I loved it when he dressed up for a party. He just had such a beautiful wardrobe. He was just such a handsome man when he was all dressed up. He was handsome anyway, but when he was all dressed up, he looked great. And again, Michael Landon in his winter garb. Look at that face. And like I said, I grew up in the Northeast, so I can really relate when the guys are wearing their winter wardrobe. And I just love this picture of little Joe. Love it. Here's a picture of Lorne way back in his career at the Canadian National Exhibition when he was broadcasting. He would go there and broadcast from the Canadian National Exhibition. It's an exhibition that happens every year here in Toronto. And I just love that picture because he's just such a Canadian icon. And, you know, my parents know Lorne Greene as a broadcaster. They don't know him as this man. Ben Cartwright. Another one of my favorite pictures with the gloves and his side. You always notice later because he's got these sideburns. Just casually, leg flung over the saddle. He just looks so comfortable. I love this picture of Lorne. I like this picture of Mike. He's answering, looks like he's answering fan mail and doing some writing. He always had his typewriter. But in the background, you'll see he's got, it looks like a golf bag. And it's got the name Mike on it. And there's a holster back there. But these guys had bags and bags and bags of fan mail. Here's one of Dan. I love this picture of Dan. I don't know why. He just looks like he's so comfortable in his wardrobe, in his skin. He's just, I don't know. I just love this picture of Dan Blocker. I've been on one set in my life, and it was the most boring place on earth. So I can relate to this picture. Why it's a lot of sitting around and waiting is what it is. Here's another behind the scenes, very similar to one I just showed you. Purnell in his trailer. He's got his chaps on there, reading his script, getting ready. But I like it because you can sort of see his shoes right here, and you know, his street clothes hanging in the closet there. So, yeah, here's a funny one of Mike. I love this picture of Mike with one of Muley Jones's hound dogs. Look at the skin he's pulling up on this bloodhound. So funny. And I love it because whenever you see the old movie magazine pictures with Michael Landon at home, he's surrounded by a menagerie of animals, dogs and cats and, you know, everything. So very much an animal lover. But look at the skin on that bloodhound. Goes up for like 12 inches. I love this picture of Dan and Purnell switching hats. Like I said, it's a pretty boring place. You gotta, you know, fill the time with something. So they were exchanging hats that day. I love it. Another favorite picture. This is a screen capture from one of my favorite episodes. It's from Springtime. But I love these men and this little tiny puppy that Hoss was bribed with. They're all concerned about this little puppy as opposed to whatever else was happening in the scene. I love that picture. Here's another one behind the scenes. I love this picture too. Buck, he's in there putting up a smile. Great, great pictures of behind the scenes. I don't know, they just look like they had a heck of a lot of fun and that they really, really enjoyed each other's company. Here's another one I love of Michael carrying around his typewriter, walking into the future of Little House on the Prairie and Highway to Heaven and anything else he wrote. A lot of things, Where Pigeon Goes to Die. He was just such a Renaissance man. He, you know, he wasn't even a what do they call a one-trick pony. He wasn't a three-trick pony. He was a five-trick pony. He could do anything, that guy, and it's coming out now that a lot of people are just simply calling him a genius. And as far as television arts go, I would have to agree. I love this picture of Purnell because it reminds me of all his little sort of gestures and idiosyncrasies. He often sort of patted his stomach and his chest and things like that. When you're watching now, you'll notice, but he used to do that quite a bit. And the other thing he used to do was he used to pull on his ear. It was always the opposite side. He'd go, I don't know. He'd do that a lot. So when you're watching, you'll see that. And look at these two boys. Talk about brothers. I mean, they just loved each other on and off the screen. They were just made for each other, soulmates. Look at those two, Mike and Dan. I love this picture of Michael signing some autographs. Look at the crowds are surrounding him. Amazing. Here's another one of the dog. Look at them looking at this thing. They love to pull his this dog's skin. It's kind of an amazing thing that a bloodhound can do. So he can get in and out of small spaces. Another behind the scenes, great one from Ponderosa Matador. These guys just hamming it up after after it was over. She looks like she's having a great time. Lucky girl. Jeez. I love this picture behind the scenes too. Look at Purnell's face. He's talk about having a devilish grin. He's holding a gun. I'm not sure what's going on here, but it's quite funny the way he's looking there. I love this picture, one of my favorite pictures. Look at Haas's hair. And Joe's all beat up. It's just the strangest family picture. And here's part 2. It's taken at the same time. Because you can tell because Mike's makeup is all beaten up. Funny. What else have I got here? Oh, the old chaps picture. I love Purnell and his chaps. Mike wore chaps later. And I'm going to finish with this wonderful picture of Ben. That's a confident Western entrepreneur right there. A very successful man. Worked very, very hard. Raised 3 sons by himself mostly. And you can see that in his face. He's just a very proud, proud man. That's it for my favorite pictures. There's millions more, but those are just some of them. So we'll see you next time on Ponderosa North for the love of Bonanza. Bye!